안녕하세요, Claudio입니다. Hey guys, Claude here. Welcome back to another lesson recap. It's already lesson 10, so it's about time we learn how to count to 10. This lesson's a bit weird to recap, since the first half is just memorizing the numbers of both the Sino-Korean and pure Korean. Since the numbers are part of the vocab list, I won't be teaching them. Rather, I'll try my best to show different contexts and situations where the different number systems are used. The order of the parts might be slightly different than the full lesson online, just so I can have some fluidity in my train of thought. Having said that, let's get into it. This lesson is divided into 4 parts. The first part talks about counters. Whenever you count something in Korean, you actually have to attach a counter to the number. So for example, in 3 people, you'd say 사람 3명. 명 is the counter for people. For actions, I ate twice. 저는 2번 먹었어요. 번 is the counter for an action. And for things, I bought 2 apples. 저는 사과를 2개 샀어요. 개 is the counter for things. When counting things like number of people or your age, the pure Korean numbers are used. But when telling time, a combination of both number systems is used. So let's look at 3:10. 3시 10분. The way I like to think about it is that pure Korean numbers are used for counting mainly. And since the hours only go up to 12, the pure Korean numbers are used because it's easier to count to 12. The minutes and seconds, on the other hand, only go up to 60 and are harder to count. So the Sino-Korean numbers are used instead. So 3:10, like we said, 3시 10분. Before we move on to the next part, I wanted to say that 90% of the time Sino-Korean numbers are used. You still need to know the pure Korean numbers like we showed, but it's usually for smaller numbers. I personally can't remember the last time I heard like soren, which means 30, in pure Korean numbers, but I've heard some sheep like tens of thousands of times. One personal anecdote, when I went to Korea, I had to always drop off my room key to the front desk at the hostel that I was staying at. And when I come back, they gave me the key. I would tell them my room number and they give me the key. So the guy there used to call me 606 because I'd always say, hey, I'm 606. So every time he'd see me, he'd greet me with, 606씨, 안녕하세요. So that's that. On to the next part. Age. The counter for age is sa. If you're below 30, you would use the pure Korean numbers. Above that, it's more likely to see both, either one. But the older the age, the more likely it is for you to hear the Sino-Korean numbers used instead. Let's look at an example. Oh, it's already on the screen. 몇 살이에요? 16살이에요. I can't read. 16. How old are you? 16. Alright, part 3. Ponte. If you watch any Korean Q&A videos, like, you know how YouTubers shoot a Q&A video after reaching a certain number of subscribers? You're likely to hear something along the lines of 일단 첫 번째 질문, and then whatever the question is, which means the rough translation would be the first question is. As you can see here, what we learned in the lesson, 첫 번째 means first. So let's look at first, second, and third. 첫 번째, 두 번째, 세 번째. And lastly, the word for last is 마지막. So for example, 마지막 영화이다. It's the last movie. Now part 4, tome. Tome is very versatile. We'll be learning different ways throughout the lessons to use it, but for now let's look at the usage that indicates doing something for the first time. 저는 어제 선생님을 처음 만났어요. I met my teacher for the first time yesterday. We can also use 처음 to mean in the beginning. So 저는 처음에 체육 수업을 싫어했어요. At first I didn't like PE class. Before we go, one last anecdote. I don't recall what it was that my friend did, but I said to him like, oh, you're really good at this. You must have done this a lot. And he responded with, 처음인데, it's my first time. At this point, you don't have to worry about how he conjugated it, but I just wanted to show that it can be used in a variety of different situations. So be on the lookout for that. That's it for this lesson though. We have a Korean sign explanation video that shows the shortening of 첫 번째 to 첫째, which we didn't cover in this video, but it's covered in the lesson online. So be sure to check the lesson out as well as the video. Also check out the other videos that go along with this lesson, like sentence practice, vocab practice, all that